Broadcasting to you from the heart of northern Minnesota, you are listening to a special edition of the Roger Radio Show. I am your host, Roger Radio, and this here is a big honor for me because we're not going to be doing anything music related on this podcast like we normally do. Instead, I decided to bring in a special guest to interview, and what better guy to start with than none other than Alvin Hines, who we all know as Goozie Hines, who is now on his way to work his way to the top of the UFC. Goozie, thank you so much for coming on. It's a huge honor.
Man, you know, it's an honor for both of us, man. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah, man. And you know what? Anytime when it comes to my shows, I can't really do it without one of these, so cheers to you, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Ooh. All right, man. So, how you feeling, man? Your first fight was this past week, man. How does it feel?
A lot of ups and downs with emotions, man. You know, I wanted to win, but it came up a little short. But man, I was right there, and now I know what it takes. And you know, it's just like I said, it's ups and downs. There was man, it just got to me because I know all you guys are watching, but like I said before, man, I'd hate to be the next guy that has to come in there with me because I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you know, I even said this, you know, like after your fight, man, it's like, you know, like wins are never fully guaranteed. You're just getting started, man. I mean, even your opponent, this was his first fight too, if I remember correctly, right?
No, he had like man, he had like 5 in the UFC. Yeah, he was supposed to be on the main card. And I took it short notice, so that's but you know,
okay.
that ain't no excuse. That ain't no excuse either. Like I could have beat him, bro, but
yeah,
he was the better man that night.
He was, man. And, you know, props to your opponent, man. Like, I can't remember how his name's pronounced, man, but he did really good. I even said this before, dude, and I'll say it again, dude. Yeah, he's from South America. They're a different breed down there, man.
He was definitely tough, and but man, he was a good sport about it too, and I'm glad he accepted the fight with me because I got to show everyone that, man, that I can stand in there and I can bang with the best of them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, even then, so he's already had like several fights, and this was your first fight. Some reason it almost reminds me of, like, you know, those references, you know, like them compilation videos you find on YouTube of like rookies getting into like the NFL or the NBA, and it's like one of those welcome to the pro league editions or whatnot. You know, but
yeah.
I even said this, man, you got a long way to go, and I know deep down that you will be great, man. Like, you put our hometown of Grand Rapids on the map, like northern Minnesota on the map. And it's such a rarity for a lot of people to come from, like, the state of Minnesota, because, you know, like, me being the music guy, we had Bob Dylan, who's from Hibbing. We had Prince, who's from the cities, man. And even a lot of the guys who were on the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, man. And yeah, this has got to be like the first time that we have someone from here who's now in the UFC making his way to it, like to get onto the upper echelon, man.
Like, I think so too. Like, I think I was like the 9th one out of Minnesota ever. I'm not positive though. You know, I ain't huge into the whole like being dead on with the facts and stuff, but I'm getting better at it. But yeah, I think there hasn't been many, and it's still setting in, man. I just can't believe it.
Yeah,
God bless, man. Very blessed to be here.
I can't even imagine how it's feeling, man. But I guess for some of the questions that I have for you, man, my big question is, what was it that got you into wanting to, you know, pursue like fighting or whatnot? Like, what's your backstory of like how you got into it? Because I know that you wrestled at Deer River, if I remember correctly.
Yep. And then actually it was my buddy Wes Ronke. He wrestled at the college there in Grand Rapids at Itasca,
Oh yeah.
And there's a big long story, but all cut and dry is that we became friends, and he introduced me to MMA, and we did a fight in Rapids a long, long time ago, like when I was 19. And and he told me then, he goes, "Man, you can move for heavyweight." And then I took a long break from him, but he was one of the few guys that I called right away and told him, and man, he was so happy to hear it. And I'll never forget like who, the people that helped me get here. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really amazing. Like, I went to Itasca Community College about 10 years ago, and yeah, we have a great wrestling program over there, you know. I was working with the basketball teams, both men's and women's teams at the time, and actually the then wrestling coach, who I believe last I heard is now at the University of Jamestown, he wanted me to help with the wrestling team because at that time he was the defensive line coach for the football team when I worked for them. So I could have pursued that, but I only did basketball in high school, you know, and I felt more comfortable doing the sport that I was used to already, you know.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so I can't remember what the name of it was, but what was the name of that league that you were in, like when you were doing independent fighting?
LFA,
Oh, okay. And how long was it that you been working fighting for them for before you signed with the UFC?
I'd say about 3 years. 3 years, and like they're part of my management team too. A bunch of them guys, and they were a huge part of it, like getting me there. LFA pushes a lot of guys to the next level, and you got to give those guys a bunch of credit too, because they play a huge part in getting your name out there and all the promotion videos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, man.
Legacy Fighting Alliance. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, the only reason I even knew of them was because, like I've shared some of your highlights, man. You know, I'm surprised that for the music you did not choose Let the Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool.
I'm man stuck on the same one, man. I love that song. Still
Yeah.
makes my hair stand up.
Yeah. Really good song, man. Indeed. So, was that how the UFC discovered you? Was through LFA? Or.
Yep, yeah, through LFA and known sources, and but yeah, my management team and just God, man. I they all had a huge part in it, and
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful, bro. Every day lately, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, it's really amazing, man. It really, really is, you know. So I was gonna ask, so there's this like a show that they have that's like I can't remember on Spike TV or whatever, that's called The Ultimate Fighter, which is how they ended up producing, like I think it was Rampage Jackson or whoever, Michael Bisping and all of those. Didn't you ever think about trying to apply to get on that show at one point?
I didn't, man. I actually didn't even know that they still did it. I just found this out while I was in Vegas that they still did that show. I used to watch it
Yeah.
like quite a bit. My little brother was religious on watching it, but I watched it quite a bit, and but no, I never did. You know, it never crossed my mind because I didn't know that was even a thing anymore.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's still popular, you know. I mean, like I said, you had a lot of memorable seasons that were on there. The one season that I watched because there's a lot of compilations on YouTube is like the season 3 one where it was Tito Ortiz versus Ken Shamrock, and
I remember that one.
it was the same one that Michael Bisping won, and he ended up coaching in 2 of them seasons.
Nice.
And yeah, I think
Oh,
there's one quote that I like from him is where he was like, he was like one of the commentators for like the UFC, like through ESPN or whatever. And he was like, I'm a really nice guy. I do treat a lot of people with respect, but everybody wants to fight me. I don't know what the problem is.
I know what he means, but it's getting a lot better now. And if you just keep killing everyone with kindness, it's
Yeah,
paying off. It's paying off.
exactly, man. But yeah, okay. So I know that as soon as you ended up making the announcement, on your that you signed with the UFC, everyone's just been flooding in with all kinds of congratulations. I was one of them myself, man. What was your family's reaction when they heard the news?
They were just so happy for me, man. Like, I just can't even put it in words. Everyone's been so congratulative about it, and like, I don't know how to put it, man. I'm just so grateful because everyone's been so supportive and they have been most of this journey. And then when this happened, they're just like knew it the whole time, man. And I believe them. Like a lot of times there was like people gassing me up, even on my down days where I'm like, man, or when something would happen, and they're like, hey, you guys, you're doing so good, you're so good, and those things help me keep going.
Absolutely, man. What was Hannah's reaction?
She loved it. She actually was more when it first found out. I was like, well, and I didn't really believe it at first, and I kind of just turned my radio back up, and she goes, hey, aren't you excited? I said, we'll see. We'll see if it happens. And then it did, man. So,
Yeah, I know. I can certainly understand that feeling. Like I think there was like a few years ago, actually, when I was going to Bemidji State. I had an internship offer in 2020 with the Duluth Huskies, but the problem was COVID happened and all that got canceled.
yeah,
Sometimes it's never a for sure guarantee.
nothing in life is.
Yep, absolutely. So to go back to resume back with your first fight, like I've watched it. We were watching it at the Eagles Club. Big shout out to the club, by the way. And then we saw that some of the Rapids crew was there. Like KK was there. Who else was there? I can't remember. That there was like
Man,
several of them.
yeah. There was a big group came down. It blew my mind. Like 50 people probably from Minnesota.
Holy cow, man!
Crazy.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, if I had the money or something like that, I would have definitely went in a heartbeat to watch.
Bro, I know you guys are back home watching, and that means just as much to me, man. We're all blue collar people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's expensive, and I know you guys. It means just as much to me when you guys watch it and let me know afterwards, man. Like, you think I would be able to afford that kind of stuff? No, but they give me a ticket to go right in the ring. That's why I can afford it. So,
right.
listen, I appreciate you guys just as much, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was such an awesome experience. I was even checking my feed the entire night, and everyone was just watching like how amazing it was. A lot of my friends from back in Hill City were watching. The Thunderbirds Motorcycle Club was watching it in their newly built clubhouse, and
Oh
oh
yeah,
man, a lot of people had your back, man. And they're gonna continue to do so. It was just such an amazing it's the thing to just see someone with your gifts and your talent being finally recognized in the UFC, and it's only going to go up and up from here on out, man.
that's right, buddy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so obviously off topic, man. So you got a chance to meet Dana White and Joe Rogan then, huh?
Yeah, just kind of briefly though, like just hey, my name's this, and this. Thanks for having you. With the whole fight week thing going on, they were pretty busy, but
Yeah.
I did get a chance to chop it up with DC, uh, Daniel Cormier, and that was super cool.
Yeah,
And
it was.
there was quite a few other people I got to meet, and just the whole experience, man, blows my mind.
Yeah, it was so awesome, man. Like, even then, I've watched some of Joe Rogan's episodes, on his podcast. I saw the interview he did with Jesse Ventura and a bunch of a lot of other celebs, whatnot. I tell you one thing, dude. If it was me, dude, because I know he loves his. I would definitely go on there and do that with him because I'm one of those type of people too, And Dana White, man, don't get me started with him. He is probably, without a shadow of a doubt, the most realist owner ever because he tells you nothing but the truth.
I'm just glad he called me for a job, man.
Right? He is really awesome with that, man. He really is. So obviously, now that you can't have a Roger Radio Show episode without talking about music. What is your taste in music?
It depends on the day, but I am mostly a country guy. Tell you the truth. But I'm not really picky either. I'll listen to anything except for the really hard screaming stuff, man. I just can't do it.
I know what you mean with that. That's pretty much me all the time, especially when I'm playing music on my radio stations. Like we play a bunch of different variety stuff. I keep away from that Taylor Swift and Beyonce bullshit. And if you would have seen some of my previous episodes, you could not believe how many times I've shat on both of them too. But yeah, I've always been like a classic rock guy, heavy metal guy, country guy, hip hop as long as it's the 90s stuff, because that's where the real guys were, the real OGs, so. Obviously you're starting out. Do you have you guys are able to get a song that you walk out to, right, when you're going out to the octagon?
Yep.
I don't think they did one for you or anything like that, right?
Yeah, yep. It's When the Man Comes Around by Johnny Cash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. Johnny Cash, dude. The man in black himself. My dad was such a diehard fan of Johnny Cash, man.
Yep. I love that song, and I don't think I'll ever change my walkout song.
No, oh, dude, you don't want to.
Nope.
I mean, dude, if it's a song that you're that most passionate about, you cannot change it ever.
That's right.
That's
right. That's right, buddy.
Hell yeah, man. But I really don't know what else to really ask, to be honest with you. This was fun, man. It really was.
Absolutely, bro. We can do it again. We'll keep in touch and. Shit, I appreciate being on the Roger Road Show, my man.
Yeah, man, and I really appreciate you coming on, man. This has been a long time coming. And, obviously, like I said, man, I'm real proud of you, man. You are really putting us on the map, dude, and it just means the absolute world that you're doing this, for all of us, The only thing that I need you to do right now is to make it one promise for me.
What's that?
As soon as you win your first ever world heavyweight title, you have to propose to Hannah in the octagon on the spot.
We'll consider it.
Yeah, just keep that in mind and whatnot.
Boy, you better stop putting me on the spot like that. All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this. Be sure to go give Goozie a follow on all of his social media. Keep up to date on when he will do his next fights, I cannot wait to see how it goes. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff from me in the future, subscribe to the Roger Radio Show today. And as always, until next time, ta-ta for now.
My man.